Howdy, y'all. My name is Jace, and I'm a sex addict. Each week, I come on to answer questions that are sent in with regard to my life as an addict, or a person in recovery, or a wanderer on this journey, trying to figure out what healthy sexuality and healthy relationships and just healthy living looks like. And the question that I got in for this week definitely hit close to home. And it asked if I've ever had any issues with body image. And it's such a bummer as I thought about it. Because, like, honestly, I've had issues with body image since I have had memories. I don't ever remember a time where I didn't have body issues. And I actually don't know very many people who don't, men and women, but mostly women, big time with women. We're told directly and indirectly our entire lives, even from the things we watch when we were little, what good looking looks like, what a beautiful woman looks like, what sexy looks like. And oftentimes that is an unachievable, unrealistic, foolish thing that not only can most people not reach, but most people, even the ones that look like that, don't actually look like. They're airbrushed. There's all kinds of effects put on. Lighting has a lot to, I mean, all of these things where we're told, look this way to be happy and get the things you want, but it's impossible to look that way. It's such a ridiculous system, and certainly one that makes a lot of money. A lot of money is made off of not liking ourselves, right? Because if we actually liked ourselves and the way we looked, we would not purchase quite a lot of products. So it sucks. We're in a culture that really breeds and perpetuates body image issues and a dislike of self and just an enjoyment of the things that we do have and a celebration of our diversity. So, yeah, God, yeah, I mean, my biggest one has been weight and size, just size in general. I grew up pretty heavy, and man, I mean, I was an active kid, which is good because I don't know what I would have looked like if I hadn't been. And my mom was like very strict with nutrition. We got to eat out like once a week, got soda like once a week, and that was it. I remember going over to friends' houses, and they would have just like soda, little Debbie snacks, like pizza bagels, all kinds of things, and I would just be like, oh my God, you guys just get to eat this whenever you want. And they were like, well, yeah. It blew my mind. It blew my mind. That's not how I grew up, but I still grew up bigger than a lot of people. And I mean, man, I could tag so much stuff back to middle school. Middle school is hell for sure when it comes to that. You're like right in those really sensitive formative years. And yet there's so much meanness in middle school. It's a terrible thing. Gosh, yeah, because so I was heavier, quite I was quite heavy, but I was also taller than most people, especially taller than the guys. So I was just towering over everyone in size and stature. Um, Man, I remember. Okay, apparently this is a theme. I remember one time. All right, this is back in the day, right? Some of y'all will recall this, some of y'all won't. Landlines for one, and then three-way calling. Three-way calling came out, and that basically was where two people would be on the line, and then you were able to dial a third number. So what you would do is uh, you would call a third party and not let them know that the other person was on the line. Super unethical. I don't recommend it. But either way, that's what we did in middle school, right? So my best friend and I called this dude that I liked, whatever that means in sixth grade, and she inquired of any potential interest in me, and he was like, "Oh yeah, yeah, she's cool, but she's too big to date, too fat to date." Oh my God, that like totally crushed me. It was so embarrassing and just broke my heart. And I had to pretend like I hadn't heard him because, then we'd have to admit that we did the three-way calling. So I had to go all this time knowing that that's why he didn't want to date me. And it's not that he put that thought in my head, it's that he confirmed a reality they already believed based on all of these messages that we receive pretty much anytime we open our eyes or are in public or have any interaction with anything public. Even looking back to the movies watched as a kid, right? It's these thin, tiny women who are, the princesses and the stars and the ones that men want. And if you're not a thin perfect woman, nobody will want you. And I already had that in my head. And then here this guy confirmed it. So I spent my whole life thinking that I was too big for anyone to want. And oh my God, I used to just berate myself. I would stand in the mirror and I would stand there naked and point out every single flaw, every ounce of fat on my body, every stretch mark, every scar, every blemish on my skin, anything that wasn't perfect. And I would sit there and I would point it out, grab at fat and just be like, why would anyone ever want to be with you? How could anyone ever love you? You are disgusting. You are hideous. You're fat. You are so gross. Like no one will ever want to be with you. No one will ever want to touch you. How could they? Look, you're hideous. So gross. And I would do this all the time, every day. Anytime I went in front of a mirror, I would be checking to see how fat I looked, if I was hiding it well enough. Dumb, stupid stuff. Man. And yeah, one day I was at an Einstein Bagels. I was in the drive-thru. I was getting a coffee, and I had my window down, and I was looking in the reflection of the restaurant windows, and just being like, "You're a fool. You're a fool. You think anyone can love you when you look that way? You think anyone will ever want to be with you?" This was earlier this year. This was like not that long ago. And just like, I mean, that I'm too fat, my skin is, too imperfect, my hair's frizzy, I'm too tall, I'm, all of these things. And and I finally heard myself, the things I was saying, and was shocked. I thought, oh my God, if I ever heard anyone saying that to anybody I loved, I'm not a violent person, but I would have very stern words in that person's direction. It blew. I was shocked. I couldn't believe the things that were coming out of my mouth to myself, and in my head. And so I cut myself off. No more mirrors. Like if you can't say anything nice, you get nothing. So instead, anytime before like go into a restroom or pass by a mirror, I would always check to see how I looked, to see if I was looking too fat, if anyone would notice. And I've always fluctuated back and forth in my weight for a long time. And, not too long ago, it's been a few years now, I was upwards of 200 pounds. Now I'm closer to 150. And I've gone in and out of there for a long time. So yeah, I decided, if I was going to get it in front of a mirror and say those things, then I wasn't going to get in front of mirrors anymore. So I stopped. I just made a point to walk right past them. I mean, I'd do my makeup and stuff in the mirror, but no more commentary like that. And then I took it to the next level where I would say nice things to myself and give myself compliments in the mirror instead and find anything good happening. Like, oh, you're having a really great hair day. Like, nice. Like, go out there and crush it. You're going to do great today. Or, okay, maybe I have like a good tan or whatever. Or I've been getting in better shape. So commenting on the muscles I've been gaining or whatever it is, right? Too much talking with my hands, apparently. So, yeah. And then I kept doing it where now you only say good things to myself. And it's made a huge difference. Positive self-talk is life-changing, and it doesn't take very long either. Now when I look in the mirror, I'm like Johnny Bravo status. That reference is really old. Some of you will remember that. But I'm like, okay, that's what we're working with today. All right, like get out there and crush it. Like, yes, that's what I'm talking about. I hit on myself in front of the mirror. I do lots of weird things with regard to positive self-talk. I do a lot of self-high fives. Silliness, but it works. It totally works. And I really, like, just within the last couple of weeks, honestly, like in the month of December, it finally occurred to me that sexiness has very little, if nothing, to do with the outside. Sexiness is something that comes from the inside. And I'm finally at a point where I'm feeling sexy. Like, I have my life together. I'm a healthy person. I'm fun. I have so many good qualities. I really like who I've become and who I'm becoming. I really love myself. And I'm really caring and compassionate. All of these really cool traits, and that's sexy. It's not my shape. It's not my height. I used to be called things like Sasquatch, Miss Piggy, stupid stuff, right? That has nothing to do with it. Sexiness is a confidence from within, a accepting of one's own skin. And that that looks good on you. That looks good on you no matter what you look like. And, I feel so sad that I spent my entire life being so mean to myself so that other people could make money off of it, right? Like, how dumb is that? And if everybody looked the same and fit into this one little mold, no one would be beautiful at all. It's our diversity. It's the fact that we do all look different. We do have these special traits that are our own that make us good looking and make us special. And so, man, I'm so bummed out that I wasted so long hating myself and saying such ugly things to myself and projecting that to other people as well. And I really realized, like, I wouldn't let someone say those things to a person I loved. And now that I am a person I love, nobody gets to say them to me either, especially not myself. So I say body image issues can go F themselves. I'm not doing it anymore. There's no reason to. It is dumb and mean and ugly and negative and of no benefit to me or anyone around me. I cannot be in good service when I hate myself, and I'm not doing it anymore. It's dumb. Not doing it. No way. I like the way I look. Also, I have a lot of tattoos now, which has really helped as well because they're very beautiful and they make me feel really beautiful, and I'm going to keep getting more of them. That really helps me. I I hit the gym now, pretty regularly, 4 or 5 times a week, and I do the things I like there. I'm not like, like beefing up or anything, but it's really changed from before. I used to do things to try to look a certain way. And that came all the way from, I used to starve myself. I've, gone through many periods of eating and throwing up. I have done pretty much every fad diet you can think of. I've worked out to the point of throwing up. I used to spend like 3 to 4 hours a day, like on, like a Saturday, I'd be at the gym for like 4 hours. Part of that's just my being an addict, being compulsive, and the other part was just nothing was good enough. I was never enough. Like, and that's kind of a thing with everybody, right? Like, if you're thin, you're too thin. If you're fat, you're too fat. If you're tall, you're too tall. You're small, you're too small. Like, there's no winning. Every single person I've ever met has been made fun of for the way they look, no matter how they look, and we all look different. And everybody gets pegged for something, or another. And like, I have a lot of girlfriends who are thinner who said they get people telling them stuff all the time, and that's just as bad, right? When in actuality, like, they're beautiful for them, I'm beautiful for me. I'm not a petite small lady. I'm taller than a lot of women. I have good size to me. I've got like tree trunk legs. I've been told I have cankles. I have stretch marks on me. I've got scars because I used to be a pretty wild kid and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. I have discoloration of skin. I don't know why, because of humanness, I guess. Like, I have blemishes on my face. You name it. You name it. So what? So what? So does everyone. So does everyone. No one is flawless. No one looks like women in magazines or on movies. Even those women don't look like that. It's a ridiculous system. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm just not going to. It makes me so angry. Okay. I'm going to stop my ranting there. Uh, that is sufficient ranting for the day, I think. I really owe a lot of my new view of myself to the girls over at the Sexual Sexpert blog. Um, it is explicit, so trigger alert on that one. But they really embodied to me when I went out to California and did some interviews for the film what it looks like to really like yourself and find yourself to be sexy and be okay with who you are. That was really cool to get to hang out with them and see how they do what they do. So um, look forward to that in the film and check that site out if you're interested. It is explicit, like fair warning. So yeah, but cool. Okay, there are some things for you to do with them what you will. Feel free to send in your questions to my website, suddenlycelibate.com. You can find me on Facebook and YouTube with the same name. I am on Twitter at JSexAddict as well. And yeah, have a great week. Until next time, stay curious.